For the docReader, we first have to activate ReadSpeaker, and to do that you click on the tab and you have the listen button, which you can move out of the way, but you'll notice that you have the piece of paper with the speaker on it. So we click on that icon. You will notice that it opens in a new page. Now, if you're working on a small device, real estate of the page is important. So on the left, you have a Show Hide sidebar. Click on that icon, and you'll notice the side panel disappears. When you click on it again, you'll notice that the sidebar comes back. If you have multiple pages, each page will be shown down this left-hand side. If you click on the outline version, each heading in the entire document will show on this panel. You can also change pages by clicking on the individual page number from the drop-down. Your standard listen, pause, and stop work the same way as always. If we highlight a little bit of material, click Listen, I can pause it, restart it, and I can stop it. You'll notice this next icon has a green dot on it. That means that it is showing it in layout mode. The next one is text mode. Text mode is great for distracted readers because it removes all decorative pictures and it left justifies everything on the page. Now we have more tools. With more tools, it opens a second toolbar. Let's start on the left. Begin with Settings. With Settings, we can set our speed to very slow to very high. You choose your language, mouse selection, how you want to choose your material, and then if it is multiple pages, set it on Yes, turn the page automatically, and continue reading. This means that as you are streaming your document and it gets to the end of a page, it'll automatically bring up the next page. It'll have a black bar temporarily as it loads, and then it'll start reading it to you without you having to choose the second page. The next thing is sentence highlighting and word highlighting. The default is a light green sentence and a blue highlight. Now you can change that. As you can see, you have lots of different choices. Make the change that is best for you. In text appearance, accessibility-wise, black on white is an ideal one, but as we are reading and it's getting late in the day, sometimes we have eye strain, and black on light yellow is not quite as bright. Black on light pink is a little bit easier on the eyes, and black on light blue is the easiest on the eyes, or at least that's what I've found. Text size goes from -1 to +3. Normal is somewhere around a 10 or 12 pitch sentence. The typeface is better known as font, and you'll notice that we do have Open Dyslexic, which is great for dyslexic students. And I am going to move this back up to a +2. Now, we click Save. You'll notice our document did not change with those savings. But if we go back and click on text mode, you will see now that it is a light blue background with black writing, and you have the Open Dyslexic font. And this font has a little bit more space between the letters. The bottom of the letters are bolder than the top of the letters. The D leans to the right and the B leans to the left, as you can see, and there are other differences which make it easier for someone with dyslexia to read this information. When I click back on layout mode, it goes to the original form of the document. The next thing we have is page mask. Back in the day, we used to take a sheet of paper and cut a hole in it so that the students could run it up and down the page to stay on focus. When they get to the end of one line, they can pull it down to the next line. We can make this larger or smaller and move it up and down the page. So this is the electronic version of the sheet of paper with a hole cut in it. Click the X to turn it off. We do have a reading ruler, which functions like we would use a note card in a paper text. Again, it keeps you online. It keeps you from gazing further down the page and helps keep you on track. These are great tools for distracted readers. The next three tools are the highlighters. And when you click on highlighter, you have four colors. You may choose to use yellow for one thing, blue for something else, green for something else, and red again for something else. If I'm a student studying, I may use red for something that I know will be on the test. I may use yellow for a different something, and you just click on the color and drag it across the item, and green for a different item. You can mark up your entire document. So if you have a 10-page document, you can mark up all 10 pages doing this. The next thing you would do is click on these three horizontal lines. Choose Collect Highlights. And you can do the page or the document by color or position, and then show these color indicators or don't show them. And you can choose which ones you want to show by unchecking the ones you don't. Click Collect and save the item. And then when I open it, we see our collected highlights. We see the different colors with the individual items. We also see that they were on page 1. If we had had numerous pages, each page would show as page 2, 3, 4 with the highlights for that particular item. Now, as an instructor, I can use the same thing, or as a presenter I can. So at the beginning of every semester, we always have students that just don't know what to study or how to study for our course. So you might want to take a document and highlight it up. Bring it into class with the highlights hidden by clicking on the I with the slash on it. Ask the students what is important. And then after they have decided what they think is important, show them what you think is important and why you think so. And you do that by clicking on the I without the slash. And then explain why you marked them up the various ways. You can clear the highlights by doing it page by page or the entire document. The next item is Save the Page as MP3. With Save the Page as MP3, you simply download the individual page and save it. Now, if it is a multiple paged item, I would suggest making a folder and downloading each page as the page number. That way, when you move it to your MP3 device, you are able to set up the tracks. Here is my folder, and when I open it, I see my page. The next icon is Save the Document. When I click Save, it comes up and I can change the title of it and I can put it where I want it. It was a Word document, so it comes down as a Word document. If it is PDF, it comes down as a PDF. We next have Print Document. And when you click on Print, if you have a printer attached, you would select your printer. I don't have one attached, so mine's going to default to PDF, and then click Print, or in this case, since I don't have a physical printer to print it out on paper, I would just click Save. And it would say, where do you want it saved? And give it a name and save it. Down here on the bottom left, you see two magnifying glasses. The first one, the one on the furthest left, has a plus in the circle of the magnifying glass, and when you click on it, you'll notice that the document font is getting larger. You can take it up to 200%. The other magnifying glass, the one on the right, has a minus in it, and that allows you to reduce the size of the font of the document down to 50%. So you can zoom in and zoom out. If you have multiple Languages. Then you have a language change over here on the right. And with the language change on the right, if you have a document that is written in Spanish, you would want to choose American Spanish. That way, the Spanish words would be pronounced correctly. But I would not want to choose Spanish for an English document because all that would do is cause the document to have the English words read with a Spanish accent. So you always want to match the language of the document with the language you have here. This right here is the help function, and when you click on it, you get information about how to use docReader.